happy to have Brian here with us. We're going to have a great topic for all of you. It's going to be how to build an attractive business. I mentioned on my social media maybe a week ago or so that I had a wonderful business planning session with an agent who was very successful and very productive, but they were just always chasing business. And they wanted to know, how do I change that? Well, one way was to build an attractive business where business is coming to you. And the key part is, well, how do I do that? And Brian's here to explain a little bit on how to do that. So Brian, welcome very much to Mortensen Roundup. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here.
Well, I feel honored that you invited me, Ryan. I appreciate it. And when you sent me over the topic originally, I was just thinking it was going to be because you are such a good-looking fella, that's what we're going to talking about on the attractive business. But I appreciate the topic very, very much because I've coached to this. I've talked to this many, many times over the years to different agents on their own business, how to create a great business and, quite frankly, an attractive business, something that is causing that, we always hear about the level of attraction, right? The attraction that we have for that other people have towards us or our business and what we're doing. And I relate that a lot of times to just energy, the energy that we put out to other people, to the universe, really what that's causing and how that's attracting, the law of attraction, right? And it's powerful and it's real. And so thank you for bringing this topic. Appreciate you inviting me and having me on.
I think it's very timely for this topic too, because in 2024, agents are going to be, they will need to be more out there. They will need to be more seen by customers and clients and, be the resource for people out there. So my plan is to kind of hit on three main topics with you. One of them is letting people know that you're a real estate agent. The second one is provide the best value for your customers and your clients. And also using the brand of Coldwell Banker to help you attract business. We've been a company now for 118 years, since 1906. We've been around through thick and thin, recessions, inflations, all of that, market crashes. And, and then even a couple of years ago when the market went crazy, we've been around, we stood the test of time. So using our brand to help you with that is very beneficial. So let's start with the first topic here, letting people know you're a real estate professional. What are some key points agents should take away from that?
Well, I appreciate that. And I'll start with, I've been around in this business now. It's 25 years this month, actually, that I'm celebrating being in this great profession and working side by side with some of the best in the entire industry. And over that 25 years, I've watched ebbs and flows in marketplace. I've watched ebbs and flows in how the industry changes. It's constant change, but we've seen in a very short period of time change that we haven't seen it with speed historically, right? Like in the last handful of years after COVID, especially, we saw this rise that was exponential. And then we've seen a shift in that business. And I would tell you over the last number of months as I've been out coaching agents, as I've been out in offices doing some trainings, I've used this skills matter and relationships matter more than ever. And so when I say more than ever, I'm giving a historical perspective of my 25 years. And I think for especially the last 14, as we've watched a market go up, we've got as an industry potentially sloppy in some ways. This is a general statement, not a specific. There's certain people that have done this, but we've heard of the 80-20 rule. We now can probably look at it and say the 90-10 rule, right? So a small percentage of people that have continued to do the skill building necessary and the relationship building necessary to run a successful business. But these relationships matter more than ever right now, in my perspective, my 25-year history, because in a lot of cases, we have not done a great job of staying connected to the people that matter, keeping our consumer at the center of the transaction. And so making sure that we have the skill sets needed, the sales ability needed, the customer service level that's needed with our clients, and making sure that's the forefront of what we do. I go into offices every single week, multiple times, and I'll ask this question almost every time. Who here has had a significant conversation with all of their clients in the last year? And I'll usually get 1.5 or 2.5, hands that raise. And this is troubling to me because our clients are our entire business, right? And so if we're not keeping the relationships front and center, we're doing a disservice to our clients. Our clients are wondering what is going on, especially with so much change over the last few years, are wondering what's going on. If we're not reaching out and being that conduit to what's going on with our industry, we're doing a disservice to our consumer. And so the number one thing that I would suggest is really making sure you have your skill sets, the things that matter, you're educated on, and that you really understand it. Our consumers deserve it, and that you're staying in touch to be able to articulate that appropriately to them.
People want to know from you. They want to have you as an advisor, as a resource to give them the correct information. And real estate is local. It really is. When you look at information or you hear on the news, it's usually regional or national data that they're giving you, right? But real estate is really local. What's going on in my market, in my area? And agents can really be the resource for that. And the thing is, your clients and customers want to know what's going on. So having conversation that you haven't had before with people is a great way. Using social media is huge, right? And do you have any insight on using social media to get the message out that I'm a real estate professional and I'm here to help you?
Yeah, I do. And I think you've been a great example. I've celebrated you and your leadership in this way. I think right here, what we're doing today is a perfect example of providing good, relevant information to our constituents. And so social media can reach so many different people. And again, we look at social media is no different. It's no different than any media that's out there. And I've expressed this over the years, right? Whether it's a billboard, radio, TV, podcasts, Twitter, TikTok, all of them are media, right? And so being able to focus yourself in on where is my audience. So I have some people going like, should I be on TikTok? I'm like, I don't know. Do you have an audience on TikTok? If you don't have an audience, if your demographic's not there, then probably don't waste your time on that. I would go where my constituents are, where my clients are, where my consumers or potential consumers are. That's where I'd be really, really focusing my business. I'm old school. I look at it and say, like, I love technology probably as much as anyone. I like to read on what's new and fresh. I like using tools like this right here to go and express my thoughts and ideas. I'm also really like to be eyeball to eyeball with people. We talk about really going back to the basics, and many of the folks that are in the business today have come in the last 5 or 10 years, where the market has consistently went up for 14 years, right? Has gone up. And now we've seen some level of correction or contraction, and which again, we know will always continue to level out. We have a lot of people that may not know what is back to the basics. And we say, like, picking up the phone. Well, picking up the phone communication can be done differently. Like, not everyone wants to get a phone call, but some people do. And it's not an age thing. It's not a demographics thing. My 21-year-old son loves to talk on the phone. Others, you'll never get to pick up the phone. So really mirroring with the media that you're using to your appropriate audience is what you need to do. So open houses. Like, I know when I got in, there was 5 to 6 from Thursday to Sunday, every single weekend. Why? Because my store was open for business, right? Every house that I had listed or someone else had listed within my firm that was gracious enough to let me expose that to the public, I could actually hold it open and they can come see what's on the shelves. It was my one opportunity for my retail store to be open. And I could actually have conversations and build, you said it earlier, be the trusted advisor, build trust in that maybe 5 to 25 minutes that they're in your open house. So again, different methods for going there. Find 3 to 5 things that you're going to focus on and take those 3 to 5 things and double down. Don't go try to do 10 things kind of good, do 3 to 5 things super good, and you'll have a better opportunity, but really mirroring with where your audience is.
And I want to piggyback on that just a quick second, where your audience is. And when agents, they want to build an attractive business, should really be reaching out to, their sphere of influence, of course, right? People that they know. And a great way to do this is, well, let me just step back a little bit. I had an agent say to me the other day, I just don't want to keep calling them. I'll go through my list in a month and I'm calling them again. And then the next month, and I don't like to do that. And I said, well, don't do that. They were like, well, what do you mean? You're telling me to, reach out to them. Call your sphere of influence in January. Next month, text them. The month after, send them an email. and then do a handwritten note to everybody the next month. And then the next month after that, do social media, and then start that process over again. Like you said, I'll text somebody, they'll never get the text message. They won't, they might see it and never respond to it. But if I call them, they're really good at returning phone calls, or they're really good at emails because they're at their desk all day, or whatever the scenario is. Just because you're reaching out often doesn't mean they're always seeing it, right? Or remember it or give you a call back. So we want to hit people in all these different modes of communication: social media, email, phone call, texting, whatever it is. But it's a way for you to be out there and be seen, because that's the important thing. People need to know you're in the real estate.
You're spot on, Ryan. And I want to amplify that, like, big exclamation point behind that. Like, just take ourselves, right? We actually consume media, in the same way. I might drive by on the freeway and see a billboard, and then I get home and then it pops on the 6 o'clock news. And then I get in the car tomorrow and I hear it. I may drive by that billboard 50 times and never acknowledge what it is. But after it's been amplified through multiple channels, I suddenly am going, oh, I know that, or I just saw that, or you're everywhere. It's kind of the person who says, I do an open house. I go, well, how many signs you put? Well, I put 3. There's 2 corners in the front of the house. And I'm like, well, I would guess there's streets coming out. You do that over a 4 or 5 week period, and you put out 15 signs or 20 signs. Suddenly, that, on top of maybe some social media posting about it, maybe a text from there inviting, some people to join you for the day. Suddenly, like, I'm seeing you everywhere. Wow, you're busy. Guess what? You did 1 open house, but you're busy. The perception is reality. So I really wanted to make a point there. It is really critical to take your efforts, the 3 to 5 things you're doing, and then how do you amplify it? You said this is about making yourself attractive. I've used the terminology in the past, becoming famous. And if you think about people in different areas, different parts of the business, and I'll go back many, many years. I remember there's a couple agents that would do open houses every single weekend, and they'd have 1,000 signs out and whatever. They were famous. Every agent could tell you who are the agents that put out 50 signs 4 or 5 times a weekend. And there's some old timers like myself that would say, like, I know who they are. I could put the name out there right now. And multiple people would say that. They made themselves famous by the efforts. They focused in on 3 to 5 things that they're going to do super well. And they did that. And that could be Instagram. That could be like, wow, the number of reels I'm doing because my audience is there. I amplify that effort if it's working. Dive deeper. Don't go wide. Go narrow in what you're doing. So find a few things you're going to do and then amplify those things. It's like a lemon, right? Like, you can squeeze it, but squeeze every ounce out of your sphere before suddenly you say, I'm going to go buy leads. If you already got a sphere of people that love, trust, care about you, why would you go outside of that when you've literally, all you've done is kind of pushed a little bit on the outside of that lemon? Like, fully go after that before you start going and spending money and time and, additional resources outside of that area.
Something that you said prior, which kind of leads into our second topic on how to build an attractive business, is being the advisor, right? In our market, we want to be the best, right? And you be the best by showing your value. We need to be the best advisor, as you mentioned, the best educator, the best person in marketing, and the best negotiator. I'm sure there's other stuff you can be the best in, right? But it's getting that message to our clients, to our customers, that I do have value. This is what I have to offer, and doing it in such a way that, gets it out there that the whole point of this is making sure they understand you're in real estate, you're still in real estate, and being successful. I know Joe King, which is our regional president, just recently was on our sales meeting, our monthly sales meeting for News to Use, which is awesome. But he said that we need to educate our clients, our customers, and not sell, right? If we show that we're educating what's going on in the market, what's going on in our particular area, we're going to be showing value. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, Brian?
Yeah. I mean, I love that you use that trusted advisor, because maybe it's an overused statement, but I truly don't. The first I would say is surrounding yourself with excellence in all avenues. Like, who do you surround yourself? Those, like you and I, have great skill sets in certain areas, and guess what? There's other areas that we can be better. We can like actually go and learn more and build those up, but we have certain skill sets. I pride myself. I'm really bad at a lot of stuff. I just am, or at least I'm not really great at certain things. They're not in my DNA. They maybe are areas that I don't have a lot of like love for, so I don't dive into to learn those things. But I am really good at surrounding myself with excellent people. You're an example of that, right? You have taken certain areas of your business, running your office, whether it's in social media, whether it's in doing this podcast, etc. And I surround myself with you and going like, wait, I have an interest in it. I don't have a knowledge of it. So I'm going to really focus on what Ryan is doing with that and try to elevate myself. And the same thing come to our great associates, right? Emulate the people that you see that are successful in areas that you think align with your philosophy in the business. Again, can't emulate. Everyone does this business a little different. And that's the beauty of it. That's the true entrepreneurial benefit of this business and being associated with a brand like ours. Surround yourself with people that are going to help lift you up and lift up your clients along with it and do the things that you're really great at. And so, yes, you need to be educated. Our consumer deserves it. Every single transaction that we do as a firm, every single one should have the level of quality that you would give to yourself, your children, your parents, if you were doing the same transaction. That is the level that I expect as a leader of our organization, that every one of our last year 13,000 transactions just in Minnesota and Wisconsin that we did should have. And so if you're not educating yourself to that next level to be able to provide that, if you're not giving that to your client, shame on us. That's what our consumer deserves. This is a big, big deal. Sometimes the biggest transaction that anyone ever has in their life. And we are responsible for that. And we should take that seriously. So making sure that if you're not understanding that, we're leveling up our education in that specific way so that we can bring great value, that we can help other people understand this process of purchasing and selling housing.
That's great. Let's talk a little bit more on that. Educating yourself so you can educate, the customers and clients out there, which kind of ties into the third point on building an attractive business, is using our brand, the Coldwell Banker Realty brand, in your business. And the benefit, I know, especially for my office, is we have, Coldwell Banker Learning Center, the university, right? Where we have like our core classes about buyer strategies, selling strategies, how to work an open house, how to work your sphere of influence, farming areas, overcoming objections, owning your value, right? These are all classes that all of our agents get, and many of them take advantage of it. One of the best ones I took when I was an agent was Outlist, Outlast. And I can say that when I went up against competitors after taking that class and using our listing concierge along with our 12-minute listing presentation, I won, right? And a lot of our agents win because of that. So what other tools and resources can agents use through our company, through Coldwell Banker, that will help them make an attractive business?
Now, look, none of us would be where we're at if it weren't for other people. So I'm just going to start right there. In 25 years, I've been committed to this brand. And again, not because I'm brainwashed in any way. I have, the ability to go out and look at other opportunities, but because, and again, I'll go back to this focus, because this brand puts our clients at the center of the transaction. Okay. And that's not, again, industry wide. I don't know that that's necessarily every brand's space, right? We've done this for 118 years as an organization, putting our training on top. We were built out of the San Francisco fires, which was all about people doing the business unethically and creating a company that would help people and be there as support in an ethical, professional way. So we stand on that foundation of many years of building our organization up. So it's critical to our core of what we do each and every day. So I'll start there. What we offer, well, I think, I used to explain it this way. Like if we had a tool belt, right? And we think of construction or automotive repair or something.
Batman.
What's that?
Batman,
right? Yeah. Any of those, right? We have this belt and it's got all these tools on it, right? Well, there's some main components that are used out there on the street, a for sale sign, the internet, the MLS, right? So it's like your hammer, your tape measure, your screwdriver, right? I've always explained it this way. It's like we have every single tool available to make sure that we get the highest price for our properties in the shortest amount of time with the least inconvenience to our clients. Okay, those three things being principal to every transaction. We do that by providing every tool. I don't know if I'm going to attract a person because of the sign on the side of the road. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to bring someone who wouldn't have been thinking about making a move today into the house because of an open house I did, or maybe the social media post I did, right? It's all of those tools. So the reality is we take and individualize a marketing plan specifically to our clients. So some will need certain things at price points that others don't need. But some specific tools, if you want examples, are like listing concierge. You know, I paid back in the day a lot of money to have a full-time assistant that spent a disproportionate amount of time on promoting our listings. And one fell swoop, after many years of people saying it'd be really, really great if we could have some tools put together to help market our listings in a extraordinary way, not like just the basics, but like put this where there's no one can compete with it. And our organization spent a lot of time and resources, and we subsidized this massively and said, let's not, we can't invest in the future for investing in the past. And we were spending resources on things that maybe weren't as beneficial. And we shifted those resources saying, let's subsidize something that works. And that's promoting our listings, making sure that our listings are out there and every potential human being would want it. Listing concierge was there. I will tell you that disproportionate amount of time that I would have spent, those resources could have been used for better things by just implementing listing concierge and a professional marketing campaign. Now, I'm not a professional marketer. Right. I did some marketing with my business school when I went to college, but that's not like what I do every day. Right. I'm out there trying to find buyers for my listings. I'm trying to be out there and promote the marketing capacity, having a professional marketer for me to be able to click a button, do a little bit of work, and they transform that is powerful. A white paper was done a handful of years ago because there's a lot of brands saying brand don't matter, which is interesting. I think of Starbucks and I think of Target and I think of Nike and stuff. Yeah, those brands kind of matter. Like they're in my house all the time, right? Our brand identification is in the upper 90 percentage points. So consumers identify with our brand. So we went out and hired a third-party company to go out and say, does brand matter? Like maybe it doesn't. Maybe what they're saying, we're just fighting this because we have a strong brand that's been around for a long time. And the proof out of that was the fact that brand does matter. The consumer actually was willing to go in and partner with a Coldwell Banker over other brands, all of their brands, by the way, over other brands. And in the studies, even more money was offered by just having our sign out front. This was a third-party study that went out and did it, which proved to the fact to us is, yes, brand does matter. There's a trust because we have educated people, that we have a system, a structure set up that supports our agents, a structure set up that supports our leaders to have the right information to make sure that the consumer is given the right advice and giving the right direction throughout the transaction.
Brian, I appreciate it. I think you hit on all three main topics that we were looking for on how to create an attractive business. And I know there's much more that goes into it, but I think those are the highlights. And then the one thing, the way our company works, especially I know from my office, is when agents join our office or my office, or the agents that are there currently, I'm 100% invested in their business. I want them to succeed, right? If they succeed, other agents succeed, the office succeeds, right? And joining a Coldwell Banker office and having a manager that's non-competing, that's there for you, they're full-time, and to help you figure this out in a way that makes sense to you is phenomenal. And it's a huge benefit to that agent that decides to align their affiliation with us. And then having resources like our tools, as we mentioned, having resources as you, I know a lot of agents call you and talk to you and you walk through things with them, which is awesome. You don't get a lot of that in other brokerages where you have that hierarchy that will take your phone call and, help you through whatever's going on. So that's fantastic. But any last words as far as building an attractive brand, kind of recapping everything? I'm going to leave the last few words to you. So
I appreciate
take
that.
it.
And again, this is only because, and I said this at the beginning, surrounding ourselves with the best people. And truly, I feel like, and again, we can get in statistically, it's proven, but I unequivocally have the greatest leadership team there. I know that the people that are on my team are there to support the agents that they've committed to. Right. And that's a big deal. So it starts right there. And I'll just say, like, thank you for everything you do and all of your colleagues there as we lift up. Again, we're a flat organization. You reference people call me directly. Like, yes, it doesn't matter anyone in our organization. I talk about the borderless, right? The borderless leadership team, borderless office, that we want to make sure that we're utilizing everyone's abilities and skill sets to level up. And that doesn't matter in whatever area. We're all rowing in the same direction. We all have a common goal to make sure that we take care of our client at the end of the day. And we know if we do that really well, and we can, again, go to other brands and say when they do it really well, guess what? Great things happen. And that's what we have here. And so leveling yourself up, the last few words I would say is, again, you can't go wrong with investing in your abilities, your skills. Invest in what you do each and every day, and the areas that you may not feel as comfortable or confident, double down on those. That's where you need to spend your time right now, so that, again, we can make sure every transaction is exceptional. Everyone is the same as you do for a family member of your own. Make sure that you're focused on that. And again, ask for help. There's tons of people here, tons of resources. And sometimes people say too many. And I'd argue not too many. Utilize their resources, ask for help. The agents that can take their business from here to here, or even from here to here, they're asking questions. They're really getting interested in. And my word for a couple of years of the year, when I kind of have a new word of the year, was curious. Be curious, ask questions, use the people that surround you, and go, like, double down on those. Go and find out information that you need and express that. And then again, level yourself up and bring that back for a successful year. I hope that this year is your best year. Again, we talk about markets. I don't care what the market does. Honestly, market is what it is. I've watched successful people navigate every single market. This is about you and your business, your commitment to your business. And I wish you the best this year, for everyone that is watching this. And if you need anything, of course, we're always available.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And like Brian said, if you need anything, if you have questions, if you're curious about Coldwell Banker and what we can do for your business, feel free to reach out. There'll be contact information and all the social media things I send this out in. So there's no excuse for you not to reach out and ask some questions. So Brian, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later. Thank you.